Hello there. I want to talk about a holster. This is a holster. Well, let's back up. When I first started shooting, I was young, 12? Something like that. And, I grew up with firearms. I grew up with shotguns and rifles and pistols and all of that. But back in the day, I'm 55, so that's a reference. Back in the day was like the early 70s, mid 70s. Leather was pretty much it. Kydex wasn't even somebody's dream yet, I don't think. Maybe, but if you got a plastic or a vinyl type holster or whatever, it was a piece of crap. It was cheap as junk, and that's what it was junk. So pretty much the only choice you had was a decent quality leather holster. And so leather is something that, for me, I prefer. I like the feel of it, I like the smell of it, I like the look of it, and I really don't like the looks of the Kydex holsters and stuff like that. Keeping in mind that if I had a need for a Kydex holster, if there was something specific about it, like for instance a lot of the Kydex holsters, the good ones like the Alien Gear and all, if I've got 3 or 4 handguns, I can buy just the part that the gun goes in, and I can unmount it from basically the frame of the holster and bolt that up, and I don't have to buy the whole thing. I can just buy that piece. You say, hey, I've changed gun and I need this piece now. So that's that modularity, so to speak, that versatility of being able to do that is something that Kydex holsters have that appeals to me. If I had a bunch of different handguns, I got one. That's my 1911. That's it. So all I need is a holster for my 1911. And truth be told, if I had other guns, I would probably get a leather holster for each one specifically because I like leather. I'm an old guy, pretty much. Now, a lot of you guys are 20s and 30s. You look at me, I'm 55. People constantly, I used to walk on the street and I'd pass by somebody like say, hey man. And they'd say, hey man, how are you? Now I say, hey man, or hello, and they say, hello sir. Okay. So that there tells you that age is a factor with me now. So I was at a local gun store, and I went to check it out because when I used to shoot years ago, and then I had problems with nerve damage and stuff like that with my hands and arms and had to stop shooting. And now that they feel better, a lot better, I've recovered a lot, I've gotten back into shooting again, and all the gun stores that used to be in my area, they're gone. There's one store close enough, about 20 minutes away from me. And I'd never been there before. But I got recommendations from a couple of different people. And so I thought, well, I'll go down. I checked their site out, and I'll go down and look. Fantastic store, a place called Middletown Firearms in Middletown, Virginia. I'll plug them a little bit. Just an awesome store, really cool people that run it and work there. But the thing that really impressed me is if you go into most stores, they've just got like a little token to the left-handed people in the world. And I'm a lefty. Middletown Firearms has got just as many holsters and accessories for left-handed people as they do for right-handed people. And that tells me that they're interested in serving everybody. So, awesome place. But anyway, I picked up a holster from a company called 1791 Gun Leather. Price was really reasonable. It fits my 1911. And this is the holster. It's a beautiful holster. beautiful brown leather. Got the wonderful, beautiful stitching. And to me, this double layer of leather right here at the opening, that's pretty much a must-have on a leather holster. It helps to stiffen this area so that the holster stays open and the gun comes in and out of it. Belt loops so that you get, I would say that's about a 30-degree cant, something like that, forward. It came kind of shaped. These were much further, but what I've done is play with it a bit, because the 1.5-inch belt loops, they were really tight. And one of the things that I want to talk about is leather. For some of you guys that haven't really used a lot of leather for things like this, you know, I see recommendations all the time on how to make the pistol fit in your holster, and they wrap it in a plastic bag and shove it in there overnight. Okay, there's not a lot that people say about these loops, and what do you do if they're too tight? Or in my case, what do you do when I first got this holster? You see this has kind of a gentle curve here, right? Well, it was a much more pronounced curve, and on somebody that was average build, that would be awesome, okay, because it's already kind of contoured to the shape of your body. On somebody like me, I'm fat, and I got love handles on top of love handles on the side, and I like carrying that. For righties, it would be a 3 o'clock position, but I like carrying that 9 o'clock, okay. And the love handles, because this holster holds the gun tight to your side, okay, what it did is my love handles pushed this out, and this little corner right here was digging into my sciatic nerve. How do you fix that? Like, you can't shove a piece of plastic in there to fix that. What do you do? Well, from years ago, I'm going to share with you a tip that a lot of guys don't know about because they don't deal with leather. But years ago, when leather was the only thing, people understood this. This is basically saddlery leather. It's a thick, stiff, tough leather, and they water formed it so that it shrank a bit and tightened up, and it made it much stiffer, okay. So what do? Well, you can slather Mink Oil all over it, you can saddle soap it, you can slather conditioner all over it. None of that's going to hurt it. It'd be good for it. But leather, what you do with leather, you move it, you flex it. With leather, you work that puppy until it is the way you want it, until it loosens up, okay. There's really no substitute for that. You can do all kinds of stuff. Now it will eventually wear in to the contour of your body if you wear it enough. But in my case, it was causing an issue with pain. So what do? I work that leather. What do I do with these belt loops? I work these belt loops. Work them. That's a secret that I'll pass on to you, that I know most people, older fellas, they know this, but most people don't. And a lot of times that's why people are dissatisfied sometimes with like leather products. You need to work it. Now this gun, this holster, this gun is clear, by the way. Fits my gun well. Okay? Now, I never had to, it slid right on up in there when I first got it. No problem, no issues. Fit the gun perfectly. Another type of 1911 might be a little stiffer on it. I don't know. But now I would not take this and wear this and do cartwheels or something like that. Okay? A gun can fall out of any kind of holster, but the retention on this is pretty good. If I slung it real hard, the gun would fly out, I'm sure. But this is all I need. With the forward tilt like it does, the gun sits just fine in the holster. It's a beautiful holster, really well made, just as nice as the old standbys, Bianchi, Safariland, Galco, that kind of deal from back in the day. Just a lovely holster. And if you're interested in leather, if you're looking for leather, a leather holster, they have their 1791 embossed on the back there. That is a beautiful holster, and it's not very expensive. I won't tell you what I paid for it, but it wasn't much. Compared to the quality of leather, the quality of craftsmanship that comes with this holster, just the beauty of it. It's cheap and well worth buying a quality holster. 1791 gun leather, fantastic holster, and they have it for pretty much any kind of pistol you can name. Alright, thank you, bless you. I'll talk to you later.